Scott Disick's relationship with Kourtney Kardashian was one that left many people nervous. Not only that, it gave Scott a lot of bad rep as well because some of the things he did in the relationship were rather questionable. But recently, he's come forward and made headlines after talking about how he regrets his past actions. Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to take a look at Scott Disick's biggest regret. Number 5. Scott's past with Kourtney. Scott and Kourtney were a married couple for a relatively long period of time, long by Hollywood standards at least. So when the two broke up, it was more or less expected that fans from all over would start dying for some answers. Both fans and media alike wanted to get to the bottom of their divorce. What could have gone wrong? The couple had a family together with 3 children. It came out of nowhere. To no one's surprise, just like any other major event in the life of a Kardashian is discussed on their iconic show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, this one was too. In one instance, Scott was questioned whether his relationship with Kourtney could have worked out if he did it right, and he replied yes while looking as guilty as one could. Naturally, this raised even more questions. What did he do? What exactly happened between them?
You would have a shot with Kourtney if you had maintained your sobriety.
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah, probably.
Number 4. The reason behind their split. Well, to put it simply, the main reason why Kourtney and Scott divorced was because of his substance issues, as well as constant cheating. Kourtney explained in one episode of KUWTK that Scott's infidelity left her numb, but when he ramped up his drug use, that was pretty much the nail in the coffin. Scott, when he was asked about the issues going on in his life, blamed everything that was happening on his substance abuse. But apparently, his intention was not to try to deflect accountability. He went on to talk about how he would never act the way he did if it wasn't for the drugs he took, along with the excessive drinking he did. About his infidelity, Scott had to say that the reason he indulged in that was due to the fact that he was young and dumb when he got into a relationship with Kourtney. However, he tried to put a lid on it by adding that he wasn't trying to shift the blame from himself to something else.
I mean, the infidelity was like, I only knew about it at the end. And then, so I think the substance abuse was the...
Number 3. How did Scott react to Kourtney moving on? It was somewhat surprising to see Scott upset over Kourtney getting into a relationship with Travis Barker. Most fans assumed that Scott never cared about Kourtney in the first place. But after he sensed that she was moving on, he expressed that he wanted to get back together with her. He kept on mentioning how he knew that his alcohol dependency was a problem. He even complained that in his relationship with Kourtney, he was the only one making any effort, while she was too busy doing something else. One source that is apparently close to Scott even reported that he was upset to see Kourtney progressing in her relationship with Travis, which made him realize that getting back together with her was looking more and more improbable. It was pretty weird to see Scott making such an effort to try to win Kourtney back after they were seemingly done with their relationship. Unfortunately for him, she had other plans. Kourtney got married to Travis. During the wedding, Scott and the kids were absent, but he did post a photo of them on his Instagram. Another source chimed in and told that Scott, after finding out that Kourtney really got married to Travis, was not very thrilled. Before we continue, make sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying it. Also, press the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming content. Now let's get back to what we were talking about. Number 2. Scott's biggest regret. A while after the Scott and Kourtney saga had been buried, with the news story being about Travis and Kourtney, Scott made an appearance in the headlines of news tabloids once again after a source came forward saying that he would like the world to know that he will always regret how he handled things with his ex-wife. It was always on his mind to reconcile his relationship with Kourtney, but after seeing that she had met a new guy and even got engaged to him, he went bonkers before slowly coming to the realization that he and Kourtney were done and dusted. Number 1. How is Scott planning to deal with this? The source that revealed Scott's remorse over messing up things with Kourtney to the point of no return also said that Scott has accepted the way things are and is now focusing on moving on himself so that he doesn't fall prey to them again in the future. Scott will always have regrets about how he treated Kourtney and handled their relationship. He's focusing on moving on, accepting his faults, and trying to learn from his mistakes, said the source. Not only that, the same source also added that Scott is interested in getting married again in the future, but he's currently focusing on himself right now. As for his relationship with the Kardashians, they're apparently on okay terms as well, and there's no sort of toxicity between them. That brings us to the end of our video. Here was a deep dive into Scott Disick's biggest regret.